tuning in to the Val and Val Show, where conversation is art, 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 art. Conversation is art, conversation is art. You should chime in, ain't no telling what to spark on the Val and Val Show. Ain't no telling the Val and Val Show. You know, ain't no telling where we go on the Val and Val Show. Ain't no ceiling, cause the art of conversation is the flow. It's that creativity available when we speak, available in our homes, available in the streets. We just trying to get it sparking and take it a little deeper. Keep it casual while fireside chatting with our people. Yeah, we take it a little deeper. It get hot when we fireside chatting with our people. Cause conversation is art, conversation is art. You should chime in, ain't no telling what'll spark on the Val, the Val and Val Show, the Val and Val Show.
Well, hello there. Hey, the song tried to start over again. How y'all doing? Anyway, good evening. And as you all know, we're gonna have a live show tonight, backed by Popular Demand. We're gonna have some fun tonight, and it's just gonna flow the way it flow, okay? Because we ain't got no agenda. We just gonna talk about whatever. Hey, this is hot. This is good, hot topics. We called it Third Thursdays with Tiff. Now, last time she was here, she was Tiffany Johnson Cole. She Tiff now, okay? Actually, she was Tiffany Johnson Cole JD. She just Tiff tonight, okay, going forward on the Third Thursdays, okay? So that's what she doing. Anyway, make sure y'all like and share. And this is gonna be real entertaining because my grandma used to say, Lord, sometimes you just gotta laugh to keep from crying. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring her on in. Come on in, Tiff, and let's just welcome you and let the people know.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back.
I'm telling you.
I didn't think I was coming back this quick.
Oh yeah. They really enjoyed you because you provided some education. You know, like with me, I'm not in my role as a healthcare provider, but that just kind of spills over. So do know that everything you hear on here, these are our personal opinions.
That's
and
right.
we are entitled to them. Okay.
That's
Anything we
right.
say on here. We this is I want to show y'all this. I want to put this ticker up right here. Is your vote your choice? However, at least be informed. And Lord, I got informed spelled wrong. Let me take that out. My mama whooped me. I must have been having a moment, but I might have been thinking about enforcing. I typed the E.
You're gonna enforce them to vote.
Yeah. Be informed. Make you a. Well, I hope everyone is gonna make a thoughtful prayer for education. Yes, if you're a believer. If you're not, just do what you do. You'll go with your feelings and emotion. And that's the fine line, you all, when you are a believer and you try to live by the word of God. And that's where it gets all muddy for people because you have the extreme want to force people to obey. And then they feel like the other side is like, well, you just want them to do what they can do. Jesus let them do what they want to do. God let them do what they want to do.
Will.
Okay, look, don't y'all know he could have slapped Eve in the garden and stopped her from having a conversation with the Satan? But he was like, that's interesting. So, Tiff, what's been going on?
Look, we just trying to keep it in the road. We're just trying to keep it in the road. And you know what? You talk about we gonna let it flow. I'm gonna tell you, I'm disappointed that I don't get to see Snoop in Paris no more.
Oh, wasn't that sad? Wasn't that sad?
That was the highlight of my Olympics was watching Snoop. I've been a fan for forever, and I was thrilled to see Snoop at the Olympics.
Well, let me tell you all this. I had the pleasure of growing up out there when Snoop then wasn't even known or whatever. You know, rap was just coming. And my highlight, being a little country girl going to the big city, I would come back and I would have all the music on a tape. Some of you other you got children
on the cassette tape.
Yeah, on the cassette tape. And like, where you get that music from? And it took a while before the music to come over here. But they was rapping the truth about what was happening in them streets in California. Okay, it was a real deal, and that's one of the reasons Tiff I stopped going out of there. Is it escalated? I was like, y'all, this too stressful. I can't be sprinting blocks, running. You got to sprint. Oh, we in this territory, run. And then the first trial was at a house party. my cousin was having, and somebody heard about it that wasn't invited. We in the house with the lights off, low crawling. I said, when I get back to Alabama,
You go, you
my
good.
my summer's over. Y'all don't got too lit for me out here, you know. You
You
know,
was good.
because the gang stuff took a
Yeah.
twist. It used to not be like what it became, but I was like, nah, my nerves too bad. The country girl, they used to this every day. So
Every day. Right.
that was, let me
Right.
say, as a matter of fact, it was the year I graduated high school, 1983, and it was 1990. I was pregnant with Cameron. 1998 when I went to California.
When you went back. Oh yeah, you went on a hiatus.
Hey, I was like, this too much.
Yeah.
Too much. But yeah, you're right. But look, I think that I heard that they already banned breaking for 2028.
But now, okay, so the whatever that was got a lot of attention. However, after all of that attention, you started seeing the real breakdancers. I was pleased
Yeah.
that there were some people out there that were really breakdancing, because bless her heart, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how she got there, why they let her come. Um,
Well, you know what?
I'm pretty sure.
If it was a marketing strategy, it worked.
Well, last year at the World Games, they had the break in
It was
Birmingham, and
awesome.
so we had come up there, and it got rained out, and so we couldn't come back when they rescheduled it. And I was like, I know this ain't what they had.
Oh no,
in
baby. The
City.
World Games, it was breaking. I was standing right there.
Okay.
It was breaking. It was really, really good. And I was thinking about my nephew, Lord Jesus. That boy could be vibrating, gyrating, and everything. And of course, he'll be the city boy when he would come from California. The skating ring would pop. Baby, they would be like, I think he was getting money. He was getting it, honey. I'm like, I can't do all that. I can do all that back then. So I sure ain't finna break my spine now.
Yeah. But
yeah,
it was they were good old days though. And hopefully they'll keep it. And hopefully when they come to Atlanta in 2028, we would have, gotten it right and got the culture, we got the right culture involved.
To Los Angeles in 2028.
Yeah, that's what I mean. LA. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Look,
LA.
Okay, so, and we're gonna, like I said, this is hot topics, y'all. We gotta talk about this because this is what I found interesting about the Olympics. We so unified. We so love. We so kumbaya. We America.
Wait. Now, your mama always said when you go somewhere, you got to know how to act.
But this is my thing. If we can unify for 2 weeks and say we're together, why can't we just make that the norm?
Because we're not.
We're definitely abnormal.
But we're not unified.
What I just thought about?
We just know how to go and visit people and act like we got good sense.
You know what I thought about? What was the song? What's the band name? Alex. What was it? You're fake.
Baby. Yeah. I mean, we know how to behave when we go into other folk houses.
But you know what? That. I love what Kevin Durant said when they asked him about it. He said, my country does some jacked up but it also do some good things too.
And that's true.
That is true.
That is true. That is
very true. So now we got a little break because the Paralympics start when we be back in unity for the Paralympics.
Yeah.
Is it the 26th? Oh, yeah. I think it's the 26th.
Later on.
So
later on this month.
And look, let's talk about this this is America too. The opening of the Olympics. My God.
See, and I missed the opening. I just saw all of the uproar about it. But
okay, let me say this. Me, the preacher's kids, the preacher grandkid, and uncles preachers and aunties preachers and all that. When I watched the opening Olympics, first of all, I barely even processed the scene where they're saying that they were mocking the Lord's Supper. Mm-hmm. First, let me be clear. That was Leonardo da Vinci's concept of the Lord's Supper, which it was not. I didn't see no hair like wool, no feet like brass, none of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm not a bandwagon person, so I go research stuff. Every now and then I get caught, but most time I go look some up.
Mm-hmm.
It's some type of Dionysus or something they call it,
Mm-hmm.
which has nothing to do. Now, what you might could say is that Leonardo da Vinci copied them.
Well, and you know, my thing when I started reading about it, I'm like you. I started googling because I'm like, what are they? Because my initial gut reaction was, okay, so if they're mimicking the Lord's Supper, then evidently they're saying everybody should be included and welcome. Okay. But then when I started looking at it, I was like, okay, so clearly that's not what the artist intended. Also, the issue with Leonardo da Vinci. But then I started looking at how many times it had been replicated. And, you know, I'm
Oh,
like, okay, so I mean, pool hall scenes, you know, all kind of scenes that were supposed to be depicting or mimicking the Lord's Supper. And I'm like, so now we gonna get outraged? You know,
yeah.
like
But
call
this
a
is
thing
my
a thing.
thing.
You know, if you got an issue about something, say you have an issue about something, don't try to turn this into something else to meet your agenda.
Yeah, this is my thing. I'm amazed that y'all just figured out evil is in the world. People been mocking, if you want to say truly mocking Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, you go look at the French culture. They've been off the chain a long time.
Long time.
They've been off the chain a long time. The thing I don't like about America, you cannot go and force people to believe what you believe. And I always say this: King George, he put them out. They rebel. He put them on them 3 boats and said,
And
"Get
send
out of
them
here."
up, get out. Mm-hmm.
It was not that they was running from religious persecution. No, they was trying to do a coup and overthrow the government. And they said, we not having it. But of course, we only get their story the same way they came to America. And these nice Native Americans who were over here doing just fine, wasn't overweight, didn't have no addiction problems, none of that, welcome them. And then you turn around and backstab them and almost killed all of them and put them on the trail of tears. But we let them go out there to the no man
Mm-hmm.
land. And then the same thing, like Governor DeSantis said about what the slaves learned trades. We came from Africa with great skills.
With
You go look
trade.
at the pyramids. Didn't know
Well, you know,
Egyptians build them.
we were in last year. We did a tour in Charleston, South Carolina, and the tour guide was taking us. It's done by this black guy, and he was taking us around and showing us, you know, all of the historical sites. And one of the things he was telling us is that the slaves came to and basically saved the Carolinas because they knew how to plant and what to plant and how to
Yeah.
deal with the swamplands. That was something, you know, that Europeans had no idea what to do with. So it was in fact they brought their skills with them and you know and built up South Carolina based on what they knew from home. They didn't learn that in America. They brought that from Africa.
Everything. And you all, to the guests, I want to say this. I hope you all have gone back to the last show when Tiff was on and clicked on some of those links. That young girl, young lady that does the Project 25, she does all kind of updates. She's been doing this a long time on things. You all, she
Mm-hmm.
do some thorough research. And what I love, she doesn't tell you which side to go to. She said, I'm giving you information.
Just the information.
And you actually vote based on that. And so, y'all, I was like, okay, I'm still in that milk of Lord, what I'm gonna do. I'm praying and what everything, but I'm weighing everything out. And like now, I won't know what I'm ultimately gonna do. And then when I mean by do, the lead the president part blank or bubble somebody in or
No,
not to that
ma'am.
morning, to that
No,
morning.
ma'am. That is not an option. That is not an option. That is not an
Cause
option.
I can't keep up. We got this for Trump, this for Kamala, this for look. I'm like this here.
You got to pick a side. You got to
No,
pick
I'm
a
trying to
side
keep up with everything.
and
I'm
pick
just trying to
you.
keep up with everything
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
so many groups now.
Oh yeah.
There are
Oh yeah.
so many groups now, and you all, this is really gonna be interesting to see this play. Like you said, Tiffany, we are experiencing a great time in history,
Mm-hmm.
a great time in history to see how this plays out. Um, I do know this, that as a Christian, you are not supposed to be forcing your will on anybody.
That is true. That is
That's
true.
not what Christ did. You share with people, and if people don't want to hear it, you move on. You don't get mad
Right.
at them.
Right.
You
That's
don't.
right.
And yeah, that's why with the GOP, that's my greatest issue. You all trying to ram morality, as you say, down somebody's throat, but y'all ain't so moral, okay?
But even still, you people have never been able to legislate morality. I mean, that's I I have some friends who are Republicans, and they're Republicans because of this idea that there's a monopoly on morality on
Yeah,
in that particular party. But the reality of it is that nobody has ever been able to legislate morality. You know what I'm saying? You learn morals, you learn character, you learn integrity. Those are things that are instilled in you at home. Like there's no political party, there's no law that can make you decide. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no law that's gonna just make you all of a sudden take the moral high ground if that's not taught to you or
and if that's not in
within
you,
you.
well, the
Right. If
other
it's
part of that, Tiff, is that first of all, many of them that are claiming all this stuff are doing just the opposite.
oh
And
yeah.
then
Yeah.
eventually it comes out. It comes out. I never forget the big wig preach pastor. He was a mega pastor. He was big with the GOP, and the homosexual guy ratted him out because he was meeting him, and then he
Mm-hmm.
see him on TV doing this big anti-gay series, and he told on him. Then it was I love it too when they do it. It's a moral failure. It
Mm-hmm.
ain't sin. It's moral failure. So all this closeted stuff that you're lying about is going to come out
Oh,
anyway.
absolutely. Always does.
Yeah, I can appreciate with the Democrat side where they say, you know what, let people do what they do. Now, for as the laws, if America truly was a country built on Christianity, I could see all the uproar. But
Mm-hmm.
y'all was built on murder, rape, scheming,
Well, but
conniving.
even with that, I tell people like I believe in the separation of church and state, right?
Hmm.
But at the same time, I also know that I have a set of guiding principles that guide my everyday life.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And so even though I believe in the separation of church and state, it is those things that I grew up learning in the church and learning in my in my home life
Hmm.
that guide how I make decisions. And it's just unfortunate because I don't see us being very Christ-like. You know what I mean?
Definitely
Like
not.
what recently there was the law passed, I think in California, where they basically criminalized being homeless. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like
yes.
on what level did criminalizing people for being homeless become a Christian thing to do? Or not wanting to feed people, not wanting to provide people with health care. It just the entire way the system is set up as it relates to credit scores and lending. And I mean, ain't nothing Christian
Hmm.
about none of that. Student loan debt. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like if we want to talk about what the Bible says about debt,
Yeah, and
let's
and
let's
usury.
let's talk about right. But there's so we walk this double standard. We say one thing, but then we live our lives and we project, we actually act out and do a different thing, which
Well,
is
you know what the
aggravating
Bible
to me.
say, out of the heart does mouth speak, and it acts too. I want to read this scripture. It's in Isaiah 1:17. And if y'all don't like the scripture, log off. This is what I do on here, okay? You'll be okay. Because half of them self-help books y'all read, they based off of scripture. Just go get you a Bible. Just go get you a Bible. It says, okay, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. Now, some people say, well, that's in the Old Testament. No, Jesus just said this: go about doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Go about doing good. Love your neighbor. Love God and love your neighbor. So, if you really care and love someone, you're not going to do anything to harm them.
That's
If
right.
you want to expand Medicaid, you're ensuring that someone is going to have an illness that can't be treated. I just read it's the last, I think in South Alabama, Grove Hill
Mm-hmm.
just closed their obstetric services. Do
Mm-hmm.
y'all know how devastating that is? Do you know
Mm-hmm.
how devastating that is? You all,
It's detrimental.
labor and delivery is life and death. You
Yep.
can have a normal delivery going on, then all of a sudden it's crash and burn. And if you don't have access to those resources,
It's
you're
life or
saying,
death. It's
yeah,
life or death. And you
and
ain't
like
got
and like here
time.
in Alabama, with all this poverty, we're making people more poor, including us, the middle class. See, that's what y'all, the middle class, fail to realize. Y'all may be getting by now, and you still able to do your Christmas shopping. But if this train keep on running the way it's running, that
Mhm.
6-figure salary you think is okay, you gonna be able to buy beans and rice.
Listen, it's rough. I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier this week. Like, where's the money going? Like, I can't keep up with it. Where's it going?
Yeah, I mean it's almost like you need to go get therapy when you come out of the grocery store.
Yes, you do. But you know what?
Literally.
I'll say this though. I am not, and I can always remember taking econ classes.
Hmm.
Economic principles never made much sense to me, right? Now, so I tell people now when they say inflation, I'm not buying this as some policy thing that we're saying. I
Yeah,
100% wholeheartedly believe that the issues we are saying are a direct result of greed.
it is greed.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
All of
And
it's greed.
you can't tell me that the gas industry or that the grocery stores or that these companies are making record profit and our prices are still high. And I'm like, just, instead of making $10 billion, make $5 billion and, lower the prices and then we can all be happy.
This is
You know,
me. If you have a company that just have millions and billions of money in their account, that right there tells you right then
right.
th- that they're overcharging. But I was sharing with someone, but you can't fix it if we keep being consumers. And I don't know if I said this to you, Tiff. I need to go find this and put it in the chat. I can't think of the gentleman's name, but he did a great thing. And I always say this, y'all, nobody's coming to save the black race. Be assured it ain't
Hmm.
happening. What our forefathers and mothers and ancestors were able to gain through the civil rights, they was like, okay, we gave you those breadcrumbs and now you dare want to have your own meal, flour, and eggs
Right. Right. How
to
dare
make,
you?
how dare you? So they're trying to take that back. And one thing, even though we as a whole, we may be the lower income earning folk, we spend a boatload of money,
A
y'all.
lot of money. A lot of money. A
To
lot of
all
money.
y'all let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you why I
A
don't.
lot of money.
Number one, I don't get my nails done because as a nurse, I got so used to them being short. So they aggravate me if they grow a little bit. Okay. But the times I have gotten my nails done when I wanted to, I've intentionally sought out me a black
Hmm.
person here. I ain't got nothing against the Asian people, but I am not gonna be going to them, making
Hmm.
them rich, making them rich. Now I know the other side of the young say, "Will you do this?" They don't handle their business right. The young girl I went to, she was on point.
Hmm.
And then you all, sometimes you got to realize some of these folks are starting business. They don't have any business skill. So we got to come alongside and say, hey, if you want to be successful, you're gonna have to be on time, etc.,
Well,
or
this
whatever.
this this my thing. No matter how often McDonald's mess up your order, you go back.
Yeah, and you get food
It
poison and
it
still go
look
back.
it doesn't matter how many times McDonald's mess your order up, how rude the lady is at the drive-through. It does not matter. We always manage to go back to McDonald's. So we got to learn to give that same grace to our minority businesses.
For
And,
sure.
and like you said, sometimes it's a matter too of having a conversation with people. Because when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Um,
Say, look, you got to be on time. My
right,
time is valuable.
right.
with everything. So that's my thing. I've always been very intentional about spending my money. And today's words got me even more radically intentional. And
Doing
I'm
that,
just like,
yeah.
yeah, and I'm just like, you all keep the car longer. Because as long as you keep going out there paying $60, $70, $80,000 for cars, guess what?
Well, let me look. So I posted about this too the other day because I was just watching and it was aggravating me to no end. On one side of the street, gas is $2.80 something.
Yes.
On the other side of the street, gas is $3.09. The pumps at the $3.09 gas full, and I really wanted to go over there and be like, y'all part of the problem. Like, I need you. I need y'all to stop buying this $3.09 gas and come over here and buy this same gas for $2.80 something, so we can
Yes.
force them to run the prices down.
But
I
let me
mean, you
tell
know
you
what I'm
what people
saying? So
believe though. This is what I always laughed about too. People like, oh, I can't put that in my car. I can't put that in my
it's
car.
the same
But
gas.
I'm gonna make you laugh. If that gas get high enough, they will be at the marathon. All of a sudden, your Mercedes can go to the marathon. But the gas coming out of the same truck, y'all. Y'all do know that,
I
right?
tell people that all the time. It's coming from the same refinery, out the same truck. Because I promise you, 5 different gas companies are not sending trucks to the same location.
Yeah,
It's
but
the same gas.
well, it's same thing with even everything. The cost of health care, groceries. You go in one store is this, and I know all you public fanatics, okay, but I think that's one of the most overpriced stores unless they have a buy one or get one until they having a sale. Okay, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. Aldi is my go-to. Okay, and I told you I got traumatized. I was like, oh my God, Aldi getting high. Jesus, we in trouble. We in trouble.
You know what? I got a confession. I always say I'm gonna go to Aldi, but literally it's on the wrong side of the street. I kid you not. That is the only reason I have not been in
Well, they say you're
in
gonna turn to the
longer,
right.
is because it is literally on the wrong side of the street. That's the only
Listen,
reason.
look, Eleanor, our super fan, she just posted. This is out here where she live in Town. Look at that.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So that's my thing, and I hope that they've talked about it doing this forever in healthcare, which they don't want to do it because healthcare is a racket.
Oh,
Now
absolutely.
it's
Don't get me
a
started
racket,
on that.
and the thing is, this is what happens in healthcare. You go to the hospital, you pay your copay, then you start getting all these thousands of bills that okay, who I'm paying now? Oh, well, that's for the anesthesiologist. Oh, that's for the such and such. Why don't you all send me one bill? And they are talking about doing that, Tiffany, but they're fighting against it because they want to be able to overcharge you, and you can't keep
Mm-hmm.
up with who you need to pay at all. So here you are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to figure out. But I don't pay nothing you off. I got a question about it. Okay,
That's
nothing at
me.
all. And
I
and
went years ago. I had to take my daughter to the ER, and she had a fever. We got to the ER maybe like at 1 something in the morning,
mhm.
and they gave her a Tylenol, and then we sat there until 5 o'clock in the morning. And I finally said, "Are y'all gonna see her?" Like I didn't seen, a lady came in there bleeding, flu, folk coughing. I'm like, this is she might have been like 6, 8 months old. And so the lady finally said, "Well, I'm just gonna tell you, you might as well just take her home and call a pediatrician in a couple of hours because they're not gonna do nothing but give her a Tylenol." Now, number one, you could have told me that when I brought her in. You know what I'm saying?
Tell
Like
me
you
about it.
said that then because she had a temp of like 104. So 3 months later, I get this bill for 700 and some odd dollars.
The ER visit and your
I said,
$100
no, mm-mm.
Tylenol.
I said, no, 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 no. And I no, no, mm-mm, mm-mm. And I called and I was like, listen, I'm not paying this. And me and the administrator went back and forth, and they finally cleared it. But I told him, I was like, there's no way. I mean, you want me to pay you because I sat here, literally. That's the only thing we did. Got a Tylenol and sat. Mm-mm.
So you
Nope.
are we have got to speak up. I know people say, well, I'm not the kind of person. Listen, if you don't start opening your mouth, we're gonna be in a world of trouble, you all. And
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. When you're around those type people that have utterly disregard for your experience, you might need to disconnect yourself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I don't understand this. This the other issue in the Christian world, and I think it's more so in the Black Christian world. Why do we feel that we have to maintain relationships with people that have utterly disregard for us? I mean, why? Why?
I don't know. There's definitely a blind sense of loyalty. Um, I don't know. I think it's probably ingrained or a vestige of slavery. You know, in having to some degree, had those same kinds and types of relationships with the slave master.
Well, listen, honey, I need y'all to
But
go
I
listen
but
to
I don't know
Leandra's song, Leandra Johnson. Lord, deliver you from you, because
because
all you do is hurt you. I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna do anything not, and I'm not gonna say not in my best interest, because when you get into that best interest, you'll start doing stuff, drive that usury. I'm not gonna do anything to affect the masses for my gain.
hmm
And that's what we need to realize, that the majority of these people that's getting ahead, they are the minority in numbers, but
hmm
they don't care. And so now you have, I'm looking, I like to read, I've always been a YouTuber, so I'm reading the conversations and everything, and everybody has their stand. This is why. I'm gonna say this to anybody: if you are with any political party and you cannot speak what is wrong with your political party, I have a serious problem with you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It, you can say Joe Biden didn't do this right and still support him, and
hmm
Kamala and anybody else, even on the other side. I'm gonna have to go Google and see. I don't think Trump ain't 100% bad, but he probably 99.9. Uh, he got
I
well,
was listening to
he take
I
care of
was
his
listening to
family. I'm gonna
something
say that
yesterday, and the girl said she was like, "I'm sure if I was friends with him, I could find something that I liked about him."
he take care of his family. He get all his children jobs. So I'm gonna
That he
say that
does.
he does
But you
that.
know what? But it takes. It's unfortunate that we've gotten to a place where we can't have constructive criticism and
Yes.
dialogue around policy issues and politicians. My granddaddy used to tell me all the time, if you ain't gonna never do everything right, and somebody
True.
ought to be upset with you anyway, and then you ought to be able to grow and improve. And if we can't say to our politicians, our elected officials, that I didn't like that particular thing that you did, or
Yeah.
that didn't really benefit me, but maybe you should have considered this. We're always going to kind of be in this i don't I don't know what to call it, but to some degree it's an inability to just have educated, deliberate conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna call it
and,
stuck on stupid.
and I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna say that. But you gotta be able to do that. And that's the only way that people grow and get better. And ideas grow and get better is if you can point out those shortcomings
Yeah.
and whatever it is. But we're in a space now where everybody's like all or nothing, and it doesn't matter, your person can do something wrong, and it's like calling them out on the wrong thing means that you just got to throw them away or discard them or not like them altogether. And I'm like, that's no, because Obama,
Yeah.
I loved Obama, but he didn't do everything I liked.
Like,
I
and,
like Biden. It's a lot of stuff he does that I don't like, but there are things that he does that, and I
yeah.
think we should be able to have both those conversations.
Well, even in the past, even with the Republican presidents, I mean, I like uh Bush. There were things that he did that were good. That we're in a new genre for real
hmm
as it relates. Because I will say the older GOP, because y'all got to remember now, Trump been independent Democratic GOP and was
And all the things.
trying to create his own party, but that didn't work out. But if you have a person that don't care about people, I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're your family member. I mean, I just don't understand how you can just be, well, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Evil. Evil. You
Mm-hmm.
can't, because the love of money is the root of all kind of evil. The way we do capitalism, it is designed to just make the wealthy more wealthy. And I'm telling y'all, I'm longing for the day, and yes, I'm longing for it. If you don't repent, you know that story in the Bible when Jesus told the rich young ruler. I mean, not the rich young ruler, but he built bigger barns. The man had overflow of grain and everything, and he built
Mm-hmm.
bigger barns and stored it up. And the death angel came and said, "Hey, tonight it's the end game, bud. You ain't gonna even know what's gonna happen to all of that." We gotta care about people. How many of us could help somebody get ahead if we just decided we ain't finna spend $2 million for Christmas? Y'all broke anyway. You need to stay out these malls and stay off Amazon, and now Temu. Temu don't took over the new Amazon. And you all. Now let's think about it. You're paying how much? $10 or whatever. Now, if you think about it, you probably bought some of that same Temu stuff on Amazon with 100% markup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm even like this. Okay, we can't talk about the capitalistic people that that identify as white. That's, I'm using that now because you can identify. Now, if you don't even talk about some of these athletes, I always admire, what was his name? What's his last name? Curry. He made the shoes, and he would not let them be above $40. And his reason was, he said, I know where I grew up at, kids gonna
Mm-hmm.
want these shoes, and I don't want them to feel like they got to turn to crime to afford them.
To afford them. Mm-hmm.
He said they will be able to shovel some snow or do something to buy these shoes. I have a problem even with the athletes. You get Nike and you allow Nike to charge 250, but more importantly, y'all, why y'all buying them?
Because we have turned that kind of stuff on. Wearing those things has now become not just a status symbol, but almost like a reflection of who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
we have decided that it is those things that make us valuable or make us important or, make us worthy. And I really believe that that's, when you start talking about brand names and
yeah,
I really think, we have to have it because that's where we find our value.
with it,
Um,
which is
it's sad.
shows the trauma, the emotional trauma that we have, that things validate us.
Right.
Things that we buy validate us, but owning things don't. We don't see that validating us. Like
Mm-hmm.
keeping Big Mama in them house, rather letting it fall in.
Mm-mm.
Y'all,
Mm-mm.
that's some generational wealth you can build.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Buying an older home at a lesser price than rather trying to move to out 280.
But it's about that outward stuff and people being, people seeing that you have these things and therefore you are important or,
And they ain't gonna come give you one dime when you can't pay for
not
none
a
of it.
dime.
Okay, any
Not
of
a
it. But
dime.
I gotta find this video because I'm gonna share it later in the group with this gentleman, because I never heard Tiffany. I know you know the man. I was like, I've never heard of this man in my life. I
Who
think
is
he's
it?
an educator. Um, and boy, he did somebody. It actually probably all the stuff I be searching, it popped up on my feed, and he was talking about nobody's coming to save us, and he could pass. Okay, he could
Mm-hmm.
pass. He said, I was privy to many conversations because they thought I was white.
Mm.
He said, so what I'm telling you is what they told me in my presence because they didn't know. He said, so pretty much what he learned was like, okay, get this and go back and educate your people. So he talked about some of the same things we talk about tonight, Tiff, about
Mm-hmm.
how much money we spend,
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff that we're doing. I actually sent it to my kids. I said, you all need to listen to this. And he talks about the only way to ensure that you really have your own is to get your own.
Mm-hmm.
Is to get your own. I I wish we as a people could come together and say collectively we're going to do something versus
Right.
not doing that. Because you all, that's what they do. They band together. I think about this. Southwest Airlines started from a picture drawn on a napkin.
Hmm.
Man had an idea, and it was to start a airline service going from Dallas to Houston. What's the other major Texas city? It was a triangle. I forgot it might have
Dallas,
been
Houston,
my,
San Antonio.
it might have been, yeah, it was San Antonio on a napkin. I think
Hmm.
the man name is Herb Keller. He started Southwest.
I didn't know
And
that.
and it started strict. It was like Tri-City is what they called it. And when I knew that before I went to grad school, the story, but when I was in grad school, we got to intensely study it about how he did it. But one of his strategies were, let's make this airline be owned by the employees. If people really
Hmm.
say they own this, they gonna have more into it. And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
we ain't paying nobody to design uniforms. Let the people that wear them. We give them our requirements.
Mm-hmm.
The color of the Southwest airline planes, I don't know if they still do it, were picked by the people. You remember
Hmm.
do you remember when Southwest came up with that turn around at the gate 10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
One of the baggage handlers.
Okay.
And he said when he came to him and said, hey, I want to try this. And he said in his mind, you'll never be able to do it. Well, he didn't know they had been doing it. The plane was loaded. That it just wasn't leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Okay.
when Southwest came up with the quick turnaround. And when 9/11 happened and everybody else laid off, Southwest was the only airline that did not lay people off. And it was because he had a built-in contingency plan that said if something catastrophic happened, they had it by how much you made. The top took, I forgot how much percentage. And when you got to a certain level, I think it was 40 or $50,000. Back then, they didn't get cut.
Right. Okay.
He was able to keep people working, even though other airlines tried to take them away with a little bit more money. And they stayed because they knew he cared about them as
About
people.
the employees. People will work for you when they know you care about them.
Yeah, they care. I mean,
People will
they
work for
will.
you.
They will. But when you use
Mm-hmm.
people up and don't pay them, the book, The Millionaire Next Door, one of the men that he started buying wrecked 18 wheelers. He said, but what I do? He said, my mechanics, they making top dollar. He said,
Okay.
because number
Mm-hmm.
one, when I got them trained and they taking these trucks apart, I don't want nobody else to come steal them.
That's right.
He said, I want them to know you can buy a home, you can save money, and he talked about investment and different stuff. But these
Mm-hmm.
were, see, we don't even live in that America anymore.
Right. Mm-mm.
We
No,
don't
we
we,
don't.
we don't live. I remember when I came to UAB, Mr. Jones was the postmaster, he and his wife, and my grandfather was a sharecropper for them later years, but they maintained a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
They helped me with college. They when I went home would give me money. They gave me furniture to put in my first apartment. He was actually happy
Mm-hmm.
to see me go to college.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so y'all, there are some good white people out here. It's same as bad, same thing in our race. There are some terrible black people here too, in
Yep.
all races. So I'm never gonna just put everybody into
A
one
category.
category. But when you show me who you are, I'm gonna believe you. Unless I see the Holy Ghost rain down on you and see the change myself, you ain't gonna come tell me you changed. I'm gonna have to watch you for a minute. So that's the thing. But I ain't even thinking about, I think about it, but I'm more concerned about what can we do
Mm-hmm.
to, I ain't gonna say inspire, to wake us up, because we was doing all this woke. I don't think we woke. I think we sleepwalking. We are not awake yet, y'all. If we were awake, we would be functioning differently.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, money is powerful. I promise you. If every black person that is sick and tired of being sick and tired decided we're gonna buy only what we need. I'm talking about y'all foregoing vacations, all that extra stuff. Our dollar. What you remember the song? It was called "Make Them Hear You."
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, they will feel you.
So,
Okay,
but we don't want to be inconvenienced. You
baby,
know
I
what I'm
get me
saying?
look. I give me some rice and some pinto beans. I'm good to go.
We don't want to be inconvenienced. Um, that's we don't want to be inconvenienced.
So,
Period.
okay, so Tiff, let me ask you this: beside me and you,
Mm-hmm.
who would rise up if we just needed? Let's just say we needed to do a Harriet Tubman. We got to escape. Who would? Because me and you in it. We
I'm
going
look.
down through the woods. I'm going the North Star. Where you at? I'm headed out. What would you do? I had to share with this young lady. We were talking about mentoring other people, saying, not normalizing trauma and striving to get over and resilience. And she said, "Well, Valerie, everybody's not going to speak up, but what I do when I mentor them, I just teach them how to navigate the system." I said, "So you teach them to endure oppression?"
Right. Mm-hmm.
I said, "Do you think that's healthy?" And she just kind of like, I never thought about it like that. Our parents had to endure
Mm-hmm.
oppression. I have no expectation of my children enduring oppression. And your protege are gonna go to jail. We're gonna have to we have to go get her.
I got the bail bond fund because she ready now. She she stay ready. She stay on go.
We
She
do not have any activists. We don't
she
have
stay.
many activist pastors.
Well, but I'm telling you, but I will say this. So, and again, I think it's people don't want to be inconvenienced. People don't want to be the only one standing out there alone. But I will say this whole movement behind Kamala seems to be igniting people in a way, that they are willing to step out and speak. Now we'll see how long it lasts. But I tell people, and even in organizations and meetings,
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, you can't depend on me to be the one to talk all the time because they'll call me and they'll be like, "Well, why don't you say so and so?" And I'm at a point now where I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna keep saying I can't talk for everybody." And so I tell people, if you got something to say, just take a
Say
deep
it.
breath. Take a deep breath, and on the out, just let it come out. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to normalize doing that. And I don't know at what point we got to this place where everybody wants to be quiet, everybody wants to stay silent and go along and fit in. I don't know how we got to that place, but we got to figure out how to move away from that. um and I definitely I make my kids have conversation now. When they had an issue at school, I'm like, you need to go talk to your teacher.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
me.
my
You teach them
son will say,
early.
well, I'm gonna email her. No, you're not gonna email her. You gonna go and talk to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't no coward. We ain't taking a coward's way out and you sending an email or a text message. You gonna get there and you gonna go sit in her classroom and have a conversation. And I think we have to do that with our kids very early on so that they can find their
To
voice.
stand and then validating them that they're okay.
Right,
You're fine. It has nothing to do with what you achieve. You are a child of God. You are my child or any other child
right.
or any other child. We need to speak up. And it's like now the message is that we're not deserving. We're not American for real. And I love that. Go back to your country. It is.
I I'm here.
I mean, Panama could have been, but we stood our
I'm
ground.
here.
Look, we stood our
Yeah.
ground and didn't leave.
And then go. Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and then go. But I do believe it's definitely shifting. Now the thing about it is
And
when it
even when you
shifts,
look at Valise and Cam, they're way more accepting and way more what you know what I'm saying? That
yeah,
that age group and they have an ability to, kind of navigate, differently than how you see some older people. So I mean, I'm hopeful. I am
Yeah.
hopeful.
Well, like even with me, like I said, in my small hometown, I grew up with the Creek Indians.
Right.
Um, and with some poor white people. So I said my hometown was more classism. Although my
Mm-hmm.
siblings now definitely experience the racial part of it. My sister graduated from the last black high school, in Alabama that closed, and theirs was so volatile that school actually closed a year later
Mm-hmm.
because my sister them told them they was gonna burn the school down if they did not let them graduate.
Wait. Oh wow.
They was gonna
Oh
burn.
wow.
They was gonna, and they would have.
Right.
My sister's
Right.
class, they would have. It was a
Mm-hmm.
Scammon County training school. If you think about Southern Normal, where my aunt
Mm-hmm.
Emma taught, that school produced some great people.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Southern Normal, that was a place where kids were having struggles and everything. It wasn't to put them in the juvenile system. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
let us get them. So I wish we could go back to, if we had our own,
Yeah.
we take better care of our own.
Yeah.
That's in any society. The lions gonna take care of the lions. They ain't gonna
Yeah.
feed your zebra first. I mean, you know, or whatever.
Right.
They're gonna take care of themselves because we understand what they're going through. These kids with all these emotional problems, and we
Yeah.
think they're acting out. Why are they acting out? If you're hungry, y'all
Yeah.
listen, y'all. If we miss lunch, we ready to fight.
Our kids go through a lot. Kids go
Yeah,
through a lot, and they go through a lot before they even get to school. Um I mean, they go through a lot, and they're dealing with a lot. Um and and I don't know. I think there's a better way to do education too.
oh
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I
scrap
think
it, scrap
I,
it.
I think the way we do education is an old model
And
that has kind of run its course. And I definitely think, we should be open to doing education a different way.
I'll give you a good
However,
example. ASPA, Alabama School of Fine Arts.
mhm,
Those kids take their academics in the morning and they go participate in their arts in the
mhm.
evening. It has been proven arts in the school manage
Well,
behavioral
I
problems.
follow the Ron Clark Academy,
Oh
and I
yeah,
look at the stuff
awesome.
they're doing over there, and then the Harlem Children's Zone, and you know, there's a better way for us to do education.
Yeah.
Um,
I3 Academy is here.
yeah,
And Mr. Knowles actually was Valisa's ninth grade principal. And the
okay,
principal there, now I can't think of Tamara's last name right now, but she's the principal, and they just opened up Tiffany the high school on Jeff State campus in Center
oh,
Point.
okay,
They gave them space to do the high school, so they're moving into the high school thing. But what they do there different. It's a charter school.
mhm,
They allow the kids to be expressive
mhm,
and like the same thing we teaching our kids. They teach them early on. You have a voice.
mhm,
You matter.
yeah.
And if it's something you don't like, you work toward getting
There's
it
a way to there's a
changed.
way to communicate that.
But we just take so much. It's like, okay, we finna charge our $5,000 to go across the bridge. Okay, let me pay the $5,000. We don't say nothing. Tiffany,
Mhm,
I promise you, I was like, had I been one of those parents when they first started that paying for the meal and you weren't for college, that scam.
mhm,
Oh man, I would have been turning it out. I was like, when I got there, I was like, how did this happen? Who
mhm,
said that kid didn't say anything
mhm.
about this? What are we
Yep.
doing? It's almost like, well, you know what? In a way, the way the slaves were on the plantation afraid to speak, it's like we still are
Mhm.
in ways.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Listen, y'all
And
better get
again,
ready and
I
start
told
back
you.
living
I
together.
think it's I think it's because, nobody wants to be the odd man out. We want to everybody wants to be accepted. nobody wants to be viewed as a troublemaker, so
Well,
you
I'm like
just,
Mr. Lewis. Good trouble is always
well,
good.
I tell I'm like a pit bull in a china shop. I'm just coming in turning over tables.
Look, you weren't. I don't know if you got to watch the show from last week with Salam Green,
Uh-huh.
Birmingham's. When I read my poem and my key phrase, I have it on the shirt. I'm a boat tipper, change maker, a woman not afraid to revolt.
Look, I tell you, and what
Yeah,
you
and
see,
I
I tell
tell
what you see
people,
is what you get.
yeah,
I'm
and I
turning,
tell
I'm
people
turning
it's
over
not a,
tables.
and you don't have to, everybody here revolt or whatever. Um, people say, well, you just talk too much. You too outspoken. I'm gonna keep being.
Hmm.
Because if somebody don't say something, I'm like my mama. Y'all don't win a mile. You ain't going to 10. You ain't going 10.
Right,
You ain't
right,
going 10. This
right.
is this is
That's
just the
right.
beginning because they start chipping at your freedoms, and then the next thing you
Little by
know,
little, you ain't got none.
it's everything. And we know this
Hmm.
is all about male control, white male control, and some
Hmm.
black folks too, black males too. That they really want you women to be subservient
Patriarchy is real.
in the house waiting on them, although they expect you to work,
Hmm.
so that type thing. So you got to call it out. I hope you all are not raising no crazy males. Okay, please
Oh,
don't
I
do it.
tell people all the time, I'm trying to be very intentional to make sure that my sons are amazing men.
Yeah.
My
Hey,
biological
look, and
ones
they don't end
and
up
my
like my
bonus
son.
sons. And look, and I just pray. I'm like, y'all better have your daughters right, cause these young men over here gonna be good to go.
Wait a minute, tell me about this shirt you got on, Tiffany. I see one aspect of
Both.
it. That's
So
what.
you
Oh,
got
okay.
books.
Your camera
Those are
got it backwards.
books.
That's why.
Yeah, yeah. So you got the books, and then you got the equality, diversity, and inclusion. You got women's
Reproductive. Okay.
rights. Yeah.
Okay, got you. So look, we just gotta y'all keep going. I know I want y'all to keep hope alive, but I want you to keep fight alive too. I want y'all to
Right.
keep
You
fight
yeah.
alive. I
Hope is
mean,
good, but hope has to lead. What did Tim Waltz say? He said something the other day about hope. He said hope won't change nothing. I got to find that whole
wait a
little
minute.
thing.
I'm
He
trying
was
to think
talking
of when
about
they,
how good hope was, but he was like,
yeah,
hope ain't gonna, hope ain't gonna pay no bills. Hope ain't gonna get you no freedom. Hope not gonna provide you health care.
yeah. And in these yet to be United States of America, we should have health care. I am
Sure.
very happy for, like, even in our area,
And it
some of
shouldn't
the school
cost
districts did free
shouldn't cost an
lunch.
arm and a leg either.
It sure shouldn't. Look, if
It's-
rice should cost $1 a bag at every grocery store, wherever you buy it at, there should not be all these crazy markups on stuff. Medication should be the same way, the
Mhm.
same way. And
It's great.
and look, you all educate yourself. I gave y'all all that information on the project 25, the articles. Now, if you lazy and don't want to read, that's your business. You'll just be uninformed. Or if you're really lazy, go to YouTube. Let somebody tell it to you.
And look, before you log off, I gotta tell my enterprise people hello. I see my
Oh,
niece.
you do?
Yes, I see my niece. I see my homeboy Jeff. I see Clarence. I'm excited. I told you I shared it today so my
Well,
people
look,
could
I
come
used
home.
to, I don't know if the church in Enterprise, was it named Mount Gilead too? Our pastor in Atmore used to pastor that church too. So we
Oh,
would
okay.
go up there.
Okay.
I just dropped all that stuff back in the chat. Y'all better learn to
You
read.
better read. Gotta read. Gotta
And like
read.
I said, go on YouTube and just you can type in Project 2025. You can type in what is it? What's the other one called? Article the 47.
Agenda
Agenda
47.
47. Go out there and listen to just the candidates talk. Um I'm trying to listen to some stuff. Some of it is like, ooh, I can't do it. What are you saying? You just all over the place.
It gets hard. I was listening to some. It gets difficult.
But I'm gonna tell you what I love to watch when they go out and interview people. one lady literally said, I can't vote for Trump because he's this and such and such and such. So they's like, well, who you gonna vote for? Can you not vote for well, but then I gotta vote for Trump.
You know, those interviews are, to me, show how much our educational system has failed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As far as the thought process and even understanding what each office can do. You know, I'm always amazed at the stuff that people think that certain politicians can do. And it's like, wrong office,
Oh
wrong state.
yeah. Well, at the end of the day, when it even comes to the president,
Hmm.
they only got limited power, you all.
That's
Okay.
right. That's
Limited
right.
power.
And so you got
And
to
then
be concerned about who you voting for in the House and the Senate.
yeah, so even with what's happening in the Project 25 Agenda 47, you all, we got to take a look in the mirror in the Black community and correct our behavior on things that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of our neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and be gainfully employed. They had in the Birmingham, it was on the news, young Black guy, he worked at McDonald's and he just graduated with his bachelor's degree in business.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
and the father and the son, I think that owned it. I think it was father, son, older white gentleman, very stately looking. But Tiffany, that man was so excited.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was beaming like a proud papa. He was like, this is what him owning his McDonald's about, giving those
Right.
scholarships. He said,
Right.
you have people that's working, they have a desire. Me as a business owner, it's my duty.
That's right.
It's my duty. It's my
To bring
duty.
somebody along. It is. And that's how we have to look at it. You know, we have to look at some of this stuff. Is it's not just something you should do, it's something that you have to do. It's your
Have to do,
duty to
have
do
to
it.
do. And look, and if
Yeah.
your debt got you so that you can't help anybody, you need to check yourself, okay? Because you already
Oh
don't
yeah.
wreck yourself if you got that much debt. You better check yourself, okay? Well, look, Tiff. So look, girl, it's 8:02. So what word you want to leave for the people tonight? Since look, we don't have the Olympics, we don't have escalation.
um let's see. I don't know. How about just enjoy. Go into the weekend being hopeful and determined to enjoy Saturday and Sunday.
That's good. Protect your peace.
Protect your peace at all
Pro-
costs.
Protect your peace. Thanks, Danielle. Is that your folks from Enterprise too?
Yeah, that's my
Eleanor?
sister-in-law.
Yeah. That's good. So look, you all like and share the page. Look, this therapy for me. This is my therapy, okay? Here talking to folks. So look, next week, you all, now this is going to be a very interesting conversation next week, you all. And let me tell you, this is Natasha Cole. Supernova Mama is what she goes by. She's a disability advocate. She's a
Oh wow.
veteran. She's a certified positive discipline educator. Now, y'all probably don't have a clue what that means. The only way you're going to find out is to come back next week because I'm not going to tell you tonight.
I
But I
I may
will tell
need to
you this.
hop on because
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we ain't positive. I'm not positively disciplining nobody.
she is the mother of, I think, 2 or 3 autistic children. And she's going to be talking to you about her advocacy for her
Oh
children.
yeah. Okay.
And hey, veteran too, she fight them too. Y'all know they don't treat the veterans right. So this would be a
Right.
great conversation. So you got to come back to find out all the information you want to know about her. So look, thank y'all for joining us. Y'all have a good night. Look, get
Hey
informed.
JD. Look, I still see my people. I'm sorry.
Oh, hi Tip. Oh, hey, they all still down at Enterprise.
No, they all over, but we all
All
grew up
over.
in enterprise together.
But
Yeah,
look, look.
that's my tribe.
Well, look, tribe, third Thursdays. Put it in your calendar. Third Thursdays with Tiff. We're gonna do this throughout the election. Let me say this. I am when I say apolitical, I don't like the Democrats or the GOP. Okay. I look at individuals. And when I retire, I'm gonna be fighting for. We don't need no parties. Put everybody's name on the list and let people
That's
pick
right.
according to who they think should be whatever. But more importantly, y'all better vote in these local elections. Them the ones that's locking y'all up.
That's true.
You better
That is
vote.
true.
You
Go
better
vote.
vote for somebody gonna advocate with you. Well, you all have a good night.
Y'all have
Rest
a good night.
well. What's on TV? We used to be. I don't know what to go watch now.
I'm getting ready to go watch Fire Country on Netflix.
I don't even know what that is.
It's good. You should check it out.